hadn't been back to Seoul in almost 20 years. And before that, I used to come here a few times a year for work. So it was a big part of my life for a long time. But coming back this time felt different. Not just because the city has changed, but because I'm experiencing it in a completely different way now. We actually weren't supposed to be in Seoul at the time of our last trip. Our original flight was postponed, which at the time felt like a hassle. But it ended up being a blessing because we arrived right as the cherry blossoms were in full bloom. Being there that night at Seokcheon Lake, opening night, it felt like this trip was really meant to be. The timing was perfect. I also got to reconnect with someone I worked with for almost 10 years. Thank you so much, Mr. Lee. Back then, Korea was all business for me. Fast trips, tight schedules. So being back and seeing a familiar face again made it feel really full circle. Mr. Lee felt like family, and I treasured every single second. It reminded me of something people don't always realize until they're here. Seoul isn't the easiest place to navigate on your own. There's a language barrier. There are a lot of options, and not all of them are equal. What you see online is just a small slice of what's actually here. The places that are truly great, the ones locals go back to over and over, they're usually not the ones being marketed to tourists. And that's really where knowing the right people makes all the difference. Because when you have relationships here, real ones, you get introduced to places you wouldn't find on your own. Restaurants that don't rely on reviews or hype. Clinics that are known through reputation, not advertising. Experiences that feel more personal, more considered. It's not about exclusivity for the sake of it. It's about quality, trust, and knowing that where you're going is actually worth your time. That's really why Ashley and I started Petal Pearl. Between the two of us, we've spent years building relationships here with locals, with clinics, with people who really understand this space. So instead of guessing where to go or trying to piece things together from Google or TikTok or Instagram, you're stepping into an experience that's already been thoughtfully curated. And especially when you're traveling with your kids, that ease matters. You're not worrying about whether you pick the right place. You can just enjoy the time together. For me, the best parts of this trip were actually the simplest ones. Sitting in a restaurant longer than planned, laughing and enjoying time with our incredible team, walking without an agenda, feeling like you're not rushing through it. And even with beauty and skincare, it's not about doing everything. It's about doing the right things with the right people. Same with everything else. It's not more, it's better. That's really what this is about. Not just coming to Seoul, but experiencing it in a way that feels easy, considered, and genuinely good. If it's something you've been thinking about, we're planning our next Petal and Pearl trip now. Happy to share more if you're curious.